If you're somewhere warm, if you're somewhere near the equator, if you're on a holiday, I'm excited for you because when you're exposed to sunlight on bare skin, bare eyes, your hair, you pull in so many of the invisible rays, the invisible wavelengths of light, that it encourages the production of melanin. And that melanin makes your ATP produced faster in your mitochondria. So if we go back to grade 10 science, we learn about the Kreb cycle or the citric acid cycle, and we go around and we pick up a phosphate and it becomes monophosphate, diphosphate, triphosphate. That's what ATP is, adenosine triphosphate. Then we produce energy, and the sunlight makes it spin faster. So you produce more ATP, you produce more energy, and then that energy gets converted into speed, power, endurance, whatever it is that you want, healing, repair of tissues, especially when you're hydrated, especially when you're functioning from the part of your nervous system that allows for repair. So nostril breathing will immediately get you into that part of your nervous system. Take a breath and get into that nostril breathing. It'll make a big difference. So getting that natural sunlight onto our bare skin, our bare eyes. So not through a window glass, not through a windshield, not behind sunglasses, contact lenses, eyeglasses. Just let your body absorb that, and so much healing will happen because you will turn on that mitochondria and turn on that melanin production, and that's what we need. Like, we have melanin and melanopsins, we have melanin receptors in our arterial walls, in our brains, in our so many tissue, in our heart. Like, we need that. So the whole story about, oh, I want sunblock, oh, I want to wear sunglasses and a hat. Maybe if you're in a place that has very low ozone, but you can also still go in the shade. So you're not directly in that light until you build up a tolerance for it, because you'll also get the benefit of those invisible ultraviolet and infrared light reflected off the grass, off the water, off the sand, off whatever. So it can be indirect. If you think about a lion in the savannah, when it's had too much direct sun, it just goes into the shade, but it stays outside. It doesn't go into its den. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need to be inside. It just means build your tolerance for the solar exposure and still stay outside. Absorb as much as you can, because it turns on the production of vitamin D, and then you can bank that for when you come back to winter. Because vitamin D isn't necessarily something that we need to supplement because we measured and it's low. Think about vitamin D as something that's naturally produced because it's stimulated by the full spectrum of the sun. And it's more of an indicator of us being deficient in sunlight as opposed to a single one thing that we need to supplement. If the levels are low and we're getting more injuries, if we're more prone to getting sick, our immune system isn't working as well as it could be, our vitamin D levels are measuring low, it could be because we aren't getting enough natural sun, or we're getting so much non-native EMF, electromagnetic frequency radiation, that we're blocking the production of the vitamin D. So I wouldn't take vitamin D levels as a standalone. That's kind of like asking me, how much salt should I put in the soup that I'm making or the stew that I'm making? And I don't know if you're making something in a pot that's this big or a pot that's this big. So I can't really tell you what's appropriate, if that made sense. Like your vitamin D is supposed to be relative to the amount of sunlight exposure that you're getting from a full spectrum of light. It's not just one thing that you look at by itself and say it's good or bad or right or wrong or high or low. So if you know somebody who's supplementing with vitamin D, share this with them. If you know somebody who is going on a hot weather holiday, share this with them because then they can benefit from getting more. If you know somebody who just wants to feel better because they're tired of feeling unwell and they just want answers, but they're not getting answers, then let's have a bigger conversation about that and see what we can do from a more natural basis to form the foundation. Because, you know, even a year ago, I would have said lean muscle mass, building muscle, having solid nutrition, and having a healthy gut microbiome was the answer for a lot of people. That's at like fourth floor of a building. Like we need to solidify levels 1, 2, and 3. And we're talking about quantum biology health that's missing because of the way we're living in modern life. And so I'm looking forward to your comments because I'm sure that you have ideas rattling around in your curious brain. Otherwise, you wouldn't have made it this far. If you know somebody who's wearing a device like an Oura Ring, a Whoop, an Apple Watch, a Fitbit, or they're charging their phone next to their bed, or they're falling asleep with the television on, share this with them because by doing something that they think is helpful, they may be creating more health challenges. And for somebody, like I've had people say, oh, like I absolutely love the feedback that I get from my wearable. You have enough baseline, you have enough information, just take it off. Take it off, stop wearing it for a month or 2 months or 3 months, and then go back to wearing it and see the difference. See how much repair your body can accumulate and you can build some momentum on your health, and then go back and compare a baseline of a week. And you'll be amazed, but get it off your body. No joke. Okay, that's enough for today. Looking forward to your comments. Thanks.